Hi, Aryn, David here, obviously. Comments on week two. The two assessments. The first was the comparison of different models of needs assessment. You picked the Harless front end analysis and compared it to Kaufman's OEM model. Um, it was thoughtful response. I think, and it was kind of clearly written. One thing that you didn't differentiate, and I think is important, considering the course, is their different positions on the PDCA cycle or their scope. The Harless's front end analysis is very much about trying to understand a problem and the issues around it and whether and how it might be solved. The OEM is really about looking at sort of different levels of consequences or reactions to improve performance. So the Harless is very much still sort of in that very front end, that plan. OEM actually kind of is more about in a way sort of covering the whole cycle already. Sort of how does the doing and the checking components of it. That would be my analysis of it. So I think that's an important differentiation that you didn't quite get. I'll take one point off for that. The crisis center comparison is the crisis center. So that was a well written paper about they recognise. Started because they recognise the need for the service. They have an informal process. They also try to get survivor voices heard, and you said that they have a kind of formal survey process. So these are clearly techniques of needs assessment. Listening to survivor voices, but particularly having surveys as well. To get a slightly higher grade, I'd like to know a little bit more about the stakeholder. What do they hear from stakeholders? How do they that? I mean, I guess they probably do. Maybe that's what you meant by informal process. And you recommend that they do a bit of sort of reconnaissance. I'm glad you referred to the Altshuler article, by the way. That's I like, as I mentioned before, I like to see that connection. So I think it's a good paper, a little bit more detail. There is a key would give you higher grades, a little bit more depth, and I'm going to keep pushing you really on that the whole course, kind of a bit more depth beyond the superficial thing. Key question that the Harless's front end analysis asks is, is it worth spending money to solve this problem? You'd say you said, look, you don't think they're doing enough, and let's be cautious about telling people they're not doing enough needs assessment if it implies that they should spend more, they should do more things. The question is doing more things worthwhile, and what things, and should they do things differently, use their resources in a better way? This is kind of the sort of the really where that rubber hits the road, not whether they actually do more, but whether they can do some needs assessment better and that it would help them, whether their current processes are insufficient or not. And that's really when I want you to get the end of the course and having looked at the crisis center whole view, this PDCA cycle, is to say, well, could they actually do some elements of it better in a way that is worthwhile? Using up resources to do that. Okay, so think about that as the sort of the goal for the course. All right, that's all. So just I take just a couple of points off. So just I want to say a bit more specificity about some of these difficult questions. All right, thanks. Bye.